Greetings, I'm Stachelin, and I hope you liked Minecraft Story Mode when it came out, like years and years ago. If you didn't, too bad. That's what we're talking about today, after a short little message from this video's sponsor, myself. I'm gonna stop you right there, other me. Make sure, before we get into this video, you like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me, what do you want to see for a future podcast episode? I'll probably do it. Who knows? Make sure you check out the Patreon. Patreons get videos a day earlier. They get other cool benefits. They get schematics for free. They get world downloads for free. You can buy them, but it's far cheaper to get everything through a subscription. And you can support me continually as opposed to a one-time purchase. Make sure you check out Dubby Energy down below for all of you consistently tired MFers. Get your caffeine for better prices and less crashes than gfuel and gamer subs. Check out the link down below or use code Stachelin at checkout. Alright, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Alrighty. So, Minecraft Story Mode. What's good about it? Well, I do like the central story. I think it's interesting. I think that the core basic storytelling components, the actual characters themselves, are pretty good. Some of them are really well written. I think Ivor is a magnificently well written character, as is Petra. The rest of them are all meh. Gabriel's pretty okay. Jesse as a protagonist is just, for a protagonist, he's lacking. He or she, because you can play Jesse as a female as well. So Jesse as a protagonist, however you play them, is lacking, right? There's no real central flaws to the character. And then some characters are just all flaws with a little bit of comedy. Like Axel, right? Almost entirely all flaws. And then he's funny sometimes. And that's the entirety of the character. Now, when discussing this, I have to give a little bit of leeway. Because the intent is that every person can play a character differently. So they're going to have each playthrough is going to be slightly unique in the flaws and the pros, whatever. The character flaws, traits, push-pull, whatever. However you want to describe it. Each playthrough is going to be at least slightly different. And while, yes, I agree with that, I also disagree. Because your choices really don't matter that much in these games. It's the classic Telltale game issue that your choices really don't actually affect the game much. And there are other games that do it just fine. Many games don't have that issue. I could see the reasoning behind that being... I could see that reasoning that I explained being a reason why they did it that way. But at the same time, just to take Red Dead, for example, because it's one of the best storytelling or story-based games ever. 100%. I feel like, I know that's a subjective opinion, but I feel like objectively, it's just the case, and I think a lot of people would agree with me on that opinion. But if you take Arthur Morgan, the protagonist of that game, every person plays him at least slightly differently. Everyone makes slightly different choices. But he's still a central character. His flaws are understood. His pros are also understood. He's a good man who has to do bad things, or a bad man who occasionally does good things. You can also play him that way too, if you're going for a low honor playthrough. Either way, it's possible to have a character that can be played differently in every playthrough. And they still remain similar. They can still be a developed and fleshed out character. So, I can absolutely 100% criticize Jesse as a character. Because the character's poorly written. 100% and entirely poorly written. They experience practically no character development at all. I think the game is almost reliant upon you, the player, experiencing character development in order for the character itself to grow, because then you're going to start making your choices differently. Which, if that's the case, that is like some 5D chess with multiversal time travel levels of mind games, so I guess to call them that. That's crazy that you're trying to do that. But if that was the goal, I mean, hands down, that's impressive if that actually worked out. I don't know. I feel like at some point, my choices do kind of change throughout a game. But for the most part, I just pick stuff based on I want to get the different... I want to, unlock all the various dialogue scenes. And I think I'm probably in the majority group when it comes to that. I don't think many people are truly, changing their opinions based on how they react to characters. I mean, I guess, if you watch some of the old, original YouTube series, there are YouTubers that do change. But then you've also got people like Techno, where the entirety of the time they're doing it, they're just dunking. He's just dunking on every single character, which, I mean, you should. Pretty much none of them are well written. Honestly, I think there's only two. It's Petra and it's Ivor, right? That's really it as to truly well-written characters. Ivor is an amazing gray villain. Petra is just... I can understand the argument for Petra being a flat character, but I do think Petra actually experiences some solid development. Other than that, though, I feel like most of the characters are just meh. Completely meh. So, as to gameplay, yeah, it's lacking. It's very lacking, but it's also the traditional gameplay style of a Telltale game. So again, falls to the classic issue of Telltale. It's kind of just what you have to deal with, but, it is what it is. Then again, if you look at any Minecraft-related game, the gameplay is pretty basic typically. It's not a hyper-complex thing, usually, It's right-click, left-click, place block, or whatever. So, that's probably not much of a thing to bring up, but just to have it on the table for discussion purposes. Now, visually speaking, oh boy, yikes. Ooh, okay, there are a lot of issues here. The weird animation style that they used is terrible. The mouth opening, faces changing thing, but everything's square? No. No. That was such a bad choice. The blocks themselves don't look terrible. Sometimes. There are times where where the map itself is pretty alright, and then there's times where it's really bad. In the gameplay that I've got going on in the background at the very beginning, you can see the water is all fluctuating and stuff. Pause here and go back to the beginning if you want to look at it for yourself. It's honestly so cursed. The way the water is, none of it's uniform, even though it should all be source blocks. It's bad. I know that's kind of nitpicky, that one example, but there's other examples of it. I just don't really care to try and dig all that up. It's so much. You can find it easily. And it does have some issues where, okay, you can't really do that in the game, but I'm willing to excuse it. It's whatever. I mean, it's a Minecraft adjacent game. They never tend to actually stay with the game, the traditional game mechanics itself, nor do other Minecraft things, like the Minecraft movie, which I've yapped about plenty. Not gonna yap about it here too much, but oh my god, everything, all of the rules of Minecraft are broken in that movie. Anyhow, what do I actually like about the game? I yapped about the characters. I like some of the characters. They are very, very well done. The story itself is pretty cool. I mean, it's, basic hero's journey kind of thing, so naturally, some are going to be inclined to say, oh, well, it's not special. Nothing's truly special when you start really breaking it down, literarily speaking. Is literarily even a word? I don't know. We'll go with literature-wise. I think that makes a bit more sense. Literature-wise, it's just, everything is, the hero's journey when you really start digging deep enough, right? So, there's no real complaints to bring up there. But I do think it's kind of cool. the way the story works. The Wither Storm is, I mean, I don't know. Putting a command block in Wither, how does bro get a command block, dude? Seriously? A command block? That's... Yeah, okay, sure. We're reaching there, for sure. And a potion to disable a command block? Wow, we're really reaching now. But the story itself is, I mean, it's cool. I'm happy with it. I like the storytelling. Especially once you get past, like, the main episodes and you start getting into, like, the second half, the last 4, where they're going to, like, the Cloud Island City with the chicken that creates infinite kinds of eggs for everything. And you've got, you know, they're going... When they're going through all the magnificent multicolored portals. That section is really where the storytelling, I think, shines. Yeah. I think that's really all I can give the game for compliments, frankly. And unfortunately, the game takes a lot of things just because of who it was made by, and they're not known for their games being very good, especially the later ones. This was like end of like the middle time period for Telltale, if I remember correctly. This was kind of spelling the beginning of the end almost, honestly. So maybe this was the nail in the coffin for that game company. Anyhow, if you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe, drop a comment down below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I a buffoon? Go keyboard warrior down there or something, I guess. I don't know. Do what you're gonna do. Anyhow, tell your folks I says hi. Bye.